Good morning, YouTube. It is Monday, July 25th, 2022, 6:56 a.m. As much as I prefer driving to riding the bus, I got to admit, I really, really do enjoy my weekday commute home when I do the rapid to the light rail to the 44. All the transfers are just quick, like clockwork. Just get off one, wait a couple minutes, and the other one arrives. Get off the next one, and wait a couple minutes, and the next one arrives. In fact, the transfer was so quick to the Route 44 that I almost ended up missing it just due to bad timing trying to get across Washington Street and then get across 44th Street, but no, it timed out really nicely, and there was also some really nice eye candy following me that did the exact same transfer, and she got off at Van Buren. I should have said hi to her or something, but I don't know, she kind of seemed like she was off in her own space, and to be honest, so was I. So, but not gonna lie, I freaking enjoyed the view. Anyway, pretty interesting night at Amazon last night. Finally, after over 6 months of being there, I've got clearance to log into a scanner. It's something that I've never been able to do. Every time I end up doing something that involves loading a truck and the contents of the truck need to be scanned in, which occasionally happens over an inbound, someone else always ends up having to do it for me. The scanning, not the loading. Yeah, pretty much they just get scanned inside of. Oh wow, we got some branches down from the last storm. Yeah, pretty much it'll all be in one loading zone, and they'll be scanned in, and it's usually Mia that does it, and she tells me exactly which ones are going in, which is usually pretty much everything or everything but one in the loading zone, and I get it in the truck, and yeah, it's never a big deal, but yeah, it would be easier for everybody if I could do it. Now, honestly, I don't know how to do that yet. I got my scanner access and training today, working in outbound on the north side outbound. I've never worked south side outbound, but the manager that I generally work with there, she told me that since I'm now trained on that I could also work north side outbound if she needs me. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, it was a little bit of a struggle for me, and I was really nervous at first because the first thing I asked when she was showing me how to log into the scanner, and of course she's holding it in her hands, which is far enough away from me that I absolutely couldn't read a damn thing on the screen. And then when she's handing it to me, in order for me to read anything on the screen, I end up having to close my right eye and hold it just mere inches away from my left eye. And of course, one of the first things I asked her is, well, is there any way to make the font bigger? She's like, no, which is, I don't know, to me is quite an oversight on Amazon's part, because most every kind of device, you can increase the font size. In fact, looking at its screen, I get the feeling that it's running on Android, because it's got the little, at the very bottom of the screen, it's got the little triangle and the circle and the square that you see on modern Android devices, which of course I didn't touch. And who knows? Maybe if I actually went to the, out of the Amazon software and into the actual Android control, Android settings, I could do that, but I'm not trying to do that. If the manager who's showing me how to do it, doesn't know how to do it, then yeah, I just cope with it. But so yeah, I was kind of nervous about that. But once I kind of got in the swing of what I was doing, kind of developed my own rhythm on kind of how to do the various steps to where I didn't make any mistakes. And amazingly, I didn't make any mistakes. Actually, come to think of it, I made like one really minor mistake, and then I kind of followed my intuition of how to get around it, which seemed to work. But then after I did it, I went directly to the supervisor, since she was over there at the desk, like right over, really close to where I was. I went over there and explained to her what I did, and she's like, "Oh, you're fine," because people do that all the time. I'm like, "Okay, cool." So it's the first time I did that, and I was, but I realized it immediately. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm scanning. Scanning a label on either the pallet of totes or the blue pallet. I'm not exactly sure what the hell goes in the blue pallets or how those are stacked. They're from a department I don't handle. I've never worked in. But anyway, yeah, they've got a label, basically 4 matching labels on all 4 sides, and scan that. I don't need to look at the entire number, just the last 4 digits of one specific number that's on it. And then, of course, the designation of where it's going, which is pretty much always like 3 letters and a number. And the 3 letters are generally an abbreviation as to where it's going. Not that I know all of those, but I'm pretty sure when I was sending stuff to the one that started with the SLC, that's going to Salt Lake City. And I put a lot in that truck. But yeah, no, I basically scan that, then scan a QR code that is basically shorthand for the dock that I'm loading it into, which is printed right there by the dock. And then I when I scan it, I look to see that there's a matching number that comes up on the screen, and look for another matching number. Morning. I'm doing pretty good. Look for another matching number. I look at the matching number on the screen after I scan it, and then I scan the dock QR code, which after a while I found out I could do from a pretty good distance as long as I aim the gun right. And then I look for it, make sure it's in green text, so it took it correctly, and from there do the next one. And I kind of got the rhythm of basically setting them side by side. At one point I stacked them and I thought I'd stack them and then scan them, and then I realized that it put the label on the top one so high that I couldn't read it due to my crappy vision. So yeah, I just kind of got in the rhythm of putting them side by side, hopping off the forklift, scanning them, doing the scanning routine, and then there's like basically a paper list, like a shipping manifest for the truck or whatever, and write the numbers on it as I get the confirmation, the green confirmation thing from the scanner, and then stack them up and put them in the truck. Which yeah, pretty basic, but just something completely different than what I've been doing. So. But yeah, kind of excited. I was like one more thing I'm capable of doing, and it was pretty good for me. Like it was an unusually slow night at the warehouse last night, and in spite of that, I was in demand and busy the entire night. And it's good to know that if there, if downsizing with staff starts happening, I'm definitely not going to be one of the people that gets. Ooh, there's a bee. One of the people that gets downsized. So. Although I did notice in my A to Z app that I'm finally over 6 months, so I'm expecting that my big signing bonus will be my big 6-month signing bonus will be in my next direct deposit. That's what I'm hoping for. Of course, if it's not, then yeah, next Sunday, I'll definitely be starting my day with HR, trying to figure out, hey, where's my bonus? But either way, I think I'm pretty good for covering all my bills at the end of the month, even without any assistance from Priscilla, and her hopefully moving out. Even if I don't get my bonus, and if I get my bonus, then everything's going to be gravy for a while. So yeah, feeling good regardless. Anyway, kind of. I'll be honest, I'm not too surprised to see your vehicle here. I totally did expect to see it here this morning. In fact, she really surprised me on Saturday night, because when she left, we'd gotten a big argument before I went to, before I left to get Subway and then go to Wander Inn, and before I ran into the crazy guy that was throwing bottles and yelling at me and yelling at cars and stuff on 46th Street. Yeah, that was fun. Before that, dang, it is hot and muggy out today. It's only probably about 90 degrees, but there was quite the rainstorm yesterday, so it is like super humid right now, especially by Arizona standards. But about ready to go inside and cool off. I take a quick shower and call it a night. But yeah, I was pretty surprised that Priscilla didn't, even though she had said she was going to take off, she didn't. In fact, she totally surprised me by calling me at like 1 a.m. to get my permission to go get food and see if it was okay with me where she was going, which I think is just her trying to be obtuse about me kind of going off at her for, staying the night, like disappearing all night and coming back the next day at noon. But I mean, there's a big difference between, heading out for a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever, going to get food in the middle of the night, or going to get drinks in the middle of the night. Like, I'm not bothered by that. It's the whole, her being gone all night, and who you staying the night with? Like, that's just, I mean, if you've got a significant other that you're living with, even if your relationship is not in a good place, like, that's just that's a whack thing. I think pretty much everybody can agree on that. But anyway, I'm ready to wrap it up, call it a night. But thanks for coming with me on the walk, and like and subscribe for more of my boring life.